This is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, whoever celebrates it. And my name is Maurice from the Triple M Model Railroad. And it is almost 1 in the morning. And I'm on a roll. I might as well just get this over with. I managed to find my Dreyfus, my MTH 464 Dreyfus, New York Central, road number 5446. And this is one of the engines for my New York Central excursion train. Now, originally I wasn't going to do New York Central. Originally I wasn't even going to get this engine. This engine I've purchased probably 4 or 5 years ago, and it was actually the fill-in for something else I wanted to get. I couldn't get my hands on a particular engine. I don't remember which one it was, but I believe I purchased this from Trainland, and I was getting a particular engine. I trying to remember what it was. I think it may have been the GS Southern Pacific, the GS4, I believe it was, and they had ran out of the GS4s, so I managed to get this engine instead. And at first I wasn't happy about it. I was like, it's like New York Central. I'm not really doing New York Central. But, this engine kind of grew on me. At first, I ran it only one time. And I ran it for a good 5 minutes, and I boxed it, and it never saw the light of day again until today. I decided, let me just take this out and take a look at it, see how it runs. It still had the original smoke fluid installed or, put in, which it does have a particular odor. And I was like, I never really did anything with this engine. I mean, like I said, I just ran it one time. I don't believe I've ever filmed it. And this is the actual first time it's being filmed. It's a very striking looking model. I mean, I believe back in the 30s and 40s, they was going with that Buck Roger look. With their steam engines, and I mean, it was interesting at the time, really. I mean, that time was like cutting edge design and technology and all that kind of jazz. I mean, it's a pretty impressive looking piece of machinery. And it basically ran the waterline route, Hudson line, which is relatively flat, and it was basically a high-speed train service for the affluent, well-to-do people. What I like about here is the coal doors actually open up, which is cool. I like that. This must have been the older version of this particular engine, because there was different variants. For one thing, I use this as a pointer. This shroud here was actually for the more modern ones, were cut back here to here, because I guess there was problems with maintenance, and maintenance was probably bitching about, we can't work on the drivers, we can't do this with that in the way, so they actually cut it down. And also those doors on the older models weren't available. I mean, for the newer models weren't available. But I kind of like the doors. I like the way they, there's like a little extra detail. I guess, they were complaining about that too. What's the point of having the doors? Because Broadway actually models the same model, but they modeled the newer version, or the updated version of this particular engine. And I actually have a chance to get the Broadway, believe it or not. There is one hobby shop that actually has it. And also, actually, Model Train Stuff actually has one more of these. But they have the weathered one, and I don't want the weathered version. I mean, I would like to have at least 2 or 3 of these. There was also the Empire State Series one. It's kind of similar to this. It's silver and black. I wish I have gotten a chance to get that, but again, didn't want to spend too much money, so I couldn't get that. I just hopefully MTH will come out with it again, so I have a chance to get it. But beautiful model, very well done, and it's one of the smoothest running and slowest running MTHs I have, or steam engine period, at this moment. And that's due to because it doesn't have that much to drive. It just has 6 driving wheels, one one driving force. So that motor inside this model is not straining. It's not doing basically anything. So without further ado, I'll turn this on and you see for yourself. I'm going to turn this in reverse. And this thing smokes a lot too. I had to break in the smoke unit a little bit, but soak the wick. But so far so good. Here we go. And I forgot to close the doors for the tender. That's okay. But as you can see, very smooth operation. Very slow. Very, very smooth. I mean, it's a nice engine. Very, very nice engine. I really, really like it. And this engine is not terribly expensive. I mean, it was like $430, I believe, at the time I purchased it. Okay. Switch it to forward. Give it some juice. Move it a little bit, move it along a little faster. Actually, it sounds great. Okay, let me close the doors on this. Okay. Now, what I find interesting about the MTH model, and hopefully you can see it, they actually modeled this. Broadway doesn't do that, but I'm going to show you in a second. Is that the drivers, so you can get focused. The drivers, there's lights under the drivers, which is like awesome. Now, unfortunately, Broadway Limited doesn't model this, and that's why I actually prefer an MTH model, because this little detail means a lot. This is like really cool. I'm gonna back it up. See this thing in action at night. I'm not gonna go too far because the lighting in here is really it's too dark, and plus this camera can't focus very well in the dark. Let's bring her back. That is so cool at night when it's dark. This is so flippin' cool with the lights. And it's a really nice touch from MTH. Lights on. Now, this is basically, I considered one of our make-believe excursion services. I mean, it would be nice in real life if transit would actually do this. But doing anything in New York City is like ridiculously expensive, and you know, with all the politics and all that kind of crap here, you never get anything done. And that's why UP and basically UP is so successful on the other end of this country. They're so successful in getting excursions and all this kind of stuff actually in working order. And there's a couple of others around the United States. I know of one is I think is the J1, if I'm not mistaken. I had the opportunity to get that too, but for some reason I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood to get it. Basically Norfolk Southern and a couple other railroads I just can't recall. I think Berkshire also. But you got different ones. But anything here in New York is just like pulling teeth. So yeah, so that's about it. I mean, you know, very well done model. And it works very well out the box. I mean, this is like its second running basically. It's just the 4 years I had it. And it runs good, you know. Actually, I have another engine to make for it for excursion, and it actually will fit perfectly. I have actually an SD70 Ace New York Central. It's a heritage unit from Norfolk Southern, and I wanted to mate with this for the excursion. That would be actually perfect. But unfortunately, I don't have that engine here. It's actually at my uncle's house. I had to take some of my equipment over there. I just do not have the room. I barely have the room for what I got now. So, yeah, that had to do. I had to take that stuff over. So, yeah, that's about it. I mean, great model, looks good, runs good. In the future, if MTH ever come out with another series, maybe I'll get another one, or the Empire State series. It's very similar engine. They look almost identical except for the color, the scheme. You know. So, but other than that, kudos to MTH on this model. So everyone have a happy 4th of July and peace out.